Good morning. It is 8 o'clock. I am on my way to the warehouse. I'm a little sleepy, so I'm gonna stop and grab coffee on the way. I haven't looked this morning, and this is normally the first thing I do every morning. I open my phone and I check futures to see where the market's been trading at. So like this morning, we can see right now, SPY is down about 0.5%. The Dow is down about 0.3. The Nasdaq's down just over 0.5%. So it looks like it could be a red open today. However, anything can happen leading up into market open at 9:30. All right, let's power up the setup. We've got about 5 minutes here. I do this every morning, so I'm online, sharing my screen, talking over what I'm doing and the trades that I'm taking. Probably got the most overkill camera ever for this. This is like a $8,000 camera just to share my face. And then audio is super important too, so I'll make sure the mic is plugged in and working here. Testing. And we'll go ahead and we'll open Thinkorswim. I've got on my top screen my software pulled up. Now I'm gonna be watching my software here off the open in about 10 seconds. I've got Discord on the left, so we're about to go live. And then my right screen is where I'm gonna have my charts pulled up, and my center screen is where I'm gonna enter all my trades. Now, part of just trading on a small account for me, because I do trade with a really large account, it was a challenge, but it's also a more, I guess, realistic approach to those guys that are joining that do only have 500 to 3,000 to trade with. These trades that I'm taking, the way I'm managing the trades, it's gonna be a lot easier for a lot of our members to see that success that they're looking for. But at the same time, you know, I'm still able to use 9+ years of experience that I have to make sure that people aren't coming in, they're not blowing up their accounts, they're able to make some money, and that is really the goal at the end of the day, that everyone's able to come in and be able to find some consistency in the market themselves. So I'm excited for today. Let's get things kicked off. Is anyone still in Hood? There we go, pulling back a bit. Currently up 14% on the day. And welcome if you're new, welcome. I saw we had a couple new members join over the last couple days. There we go, up 27%, up 30% on Hood, 30% on the day. We just hit our TP. Let's go ahead here, guys. Let's lock in profit. Let's see if we can get filled for 335 per contract. And there we go, filled at 336 for just about a 35% return. Congratulations to everyone that got in on Hood with me. That was a great trade. We were really patient with that one. And overall, that was over 50% between those two exits. Really good follow through. Had to just be patient here this morning and wait for that move to happen. 336 a contract. My initial fill on that contract was 270. That was a 21.78% return on the second contract. All right, so who made money on that Hood trade with me? Send those profits in the profits chat. We've just got NVO and BULL. Those are the only two trades that we're in. At this point, if you followed every one of the small account callouts, you would be net positive. You'd be in the green. So that's good to see. So far, we're sitting at just over an 85% win rate. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to how you manage the trades. Overall, 99% of the orders that do come through on the software are going to be profitable at one point between when the order comes in to when the actual contracts expire, right? But congrats again to everyone that got in on Hood. I would say that was one of the better trades that we have taken so far on the small account. So it looks like typically first 30 minutes, we're going to see the market trying to choose a direction. 10 o'clock, I like seeing what that direction is. So at this point, it's 10:01. We saw SPY just break out of daily highs. You can see the second we did break out of those daily highs, we just saw this big wick. So we're pushing now down 0.14 on the day, but look at that. So very clear level to watch. And I just said that obviously a couple seconds before we got that break, and then you could see how that did follow through. So direction at this point, I would say on the day is bullish. However, we'll react to what is happening here. Look at that, almost in the green. That was a pretty big pop. FSLR is definitely worth looking into. So these are out of the money calls expiring in 2 weeks for about $250,000. So that's a good amount of risk, a good amount of certainty. Again, those are two things that I'm going to look at are going to be what is the days to expiration, right? So when do those contracts expire? I mentioned this yesterday. Obviously, those contracts that expire closer, that have a closer expiration, those are going to be a lot riskier, but inherently there's going to be a lot more potential to make money. So more risk, more reward, vice versa. So we look at the expiration. We look then to see obviously how far in the money or how far out of the money. Same thing goes, the further out of the money the contracts, those are going to be a lot riskier, okay? And the further in the money, those are going to be a lot safer. And then the third thing is kind of looking at the cost size. So then you can see if there's, three check marks if you want to look at the cost, expiration, and how far in the money or out of the money. So cost, expiration, and strike, you use those three things to determine the certainty and risk behind that order, and that'll give you kind of that bias, which you can then see if it aligns with your own TA and your own charting. It is 10:03. We'll go ahead and hop off here. We'll keep an eye on those two positions. Nothing through this morning so far that looks good. We've had about 12 orders. They're all pretty far out. Really big order there on PDD. But again, congrats on the hood trade. Followed through perfectly, and I will hop back on at 10:30. So 2 days ago, the software sent through 3 orders, UNH puts, okay? UNH puts. And if I pull up UNH today, UNH is down 17%. This is when the orders came through. 5:13 at 3:30, UNH puts, and you can see all of a sudden UNH aftermarket into pre-market today, absolutely dumped. And these contracts are up hundreds and hundreds of percent. We just hopped off the live session, but this did come through, so I'll send this out to the mentorship. Typically, I'm trading up until 11 o'clock. I might only be live for 30, 45 minutes. So I'll go ahead and I'll screenshot this chart, drop this in Discord. I'm buying some TEM 523.25. 63 calls, and my fill was at 310 per contract. And let's send that out. I'm also gonna grab a couple of these Roblox, so RBLX puts. Let's grab, 2 of these contracts. These are the Roblox 516.25 $80 puts, 80 puts. So these are 1 day to expiration. Open up the May 16th contracts. And then again, we're gonna buy the 80 puts. 80 puts already going for 138, so these are up a bit. And there we go, we just got that fill on Roblox. Now with Roblox, we are just about flat on the day, trading really close to where Roblox did open, okay, off the open at 9:30, slightly above our green zone. Now, as far as targets to the downside, we've got a 50% chance of hitting that green level, we've got a 27% chance of hitting that yellow level, and then we have a 20% chance of hitting that red level. All right, so we just had an order hit the software. You can see we had actually 3 separate orders for these TEM calls that expire 5/23/25, so in 8 days. Now, TEM is trading at 62.58 a share. These are the 63 strike, which are slightly out of the money contracts. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna buy up these same May 23rd, 63 calls. Currently going for 315 a contract, and this is gonna be for my small account, so we're just gonna go ahead, we're gonna buy 1 contract, see if we can get a 310 fill. And there we go, filled on TEM calls. Now, if we look at TEM, we are trading down 3% on the day. We are within this green zone, so the likelihood to actually be trading at where we are right now is below a 50% probability, which means that I think this is a good opportunity to get in these longs. There's not a whole lot more downside, really a 33% potential of hitting this 216 area is pretty low and pretty unlikely, and then especially a 27 here down at the red. I will be stopping out below. If we do break this red line right here, And on the upside, obviously gonna be looking to target the green zone and potentially hold this thing up into the red level. All right, it is 10:30. Every Thursday at 10:30, I hop on, I just open myself up to answer as many questions as possible. So I'll take an hour or 2 hours and I'll help everyone out. It's a great way to, especially for the beginners, to address their questions. And it's kind of fun for me as well to interact with the community. So up 22% on Roblox. This might be a quick trade in and out within 30 minutes. We'll see. We're very close here. Who's in Roblox right now with me? I know it's kind of quiet. You guys don't have many questions, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on this one right now. And TEM starting to work its way back up, hopefully. Looking to make 30% here on RBLX. Might even be able to send in a limit order and see if we could get this filled. Let's see, 180 a contract would put me down here. How long would you recommend paper trading before going live with real cash on Thinkorswim? I think just really the learning curve as far as using Thinkorswim as a platform, understanding options. There's a lot of beginner just mistakes that you'll make inevitably that I think, being able to paper trade, that is where paper trading comes in, is just experiencing all the basic beginner mistakes. Maybe it's buying a put instead of a call or selling a put. Maybe you just don't know how to exit the order, don't know how to enter your order. Maybe you mess up the order and you go in with a market and you overpay. There's all these little smaller things that, issues you could run into and things you just kind of have to learn through experience. And I think that's why paper trading is good. But paper trading, unfortunately, with paper, obviously it's paper, it's fake capital, it's not real money. You're missing a huge, huge part of trading, which is the emotional and psychological aspect of trading. So yes, paper is great to learn the basics. I wouldn't be on paper for that long, but you could also stay on paper until you're profitable trading with paper. Because in theory, if you're not profitable with paper and then you switch to a live market, you're also not going to be profitable. So there's a couple different ways you could look at it. And as far as the benefits go, I would just say it's better for learning the basics. And if you could even just get involved with trading, just a very small account, just to feel that emotion, that's better than paper in my experience. And again, just plan on losing everything you're trading with for the first couple of months. Whatever you start out with, just be okay with losing that. And that'll help you really kind of detach from the money aspect and just focus on the trading itself, right? Had 2 orders today on BAC. So these are 1 DTE, 122K behind these. Let's pull up BAC. Long bias, 23, down 1.25 on the day. Technically, this is going against the bias. Let's see what these contracts are going for right now. These are the 516.25, 43.50 puts. They're going for 16 already. So they're already up. Hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Keep an eye on the trading callout section. If I do get in any more trades, if I do exit any of the trades that I'm currently in, I'll let you guys know. Thank you. All right, see you guys. We just wrapped up the Q&A here. So far, all in all, really great morning, up 35-40%. In a couple trades, couple new ones, holding a couple older positions that I entered earlier this week. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in joining. All right, see ya.